Mario Kart World might just be the best installment in the Mario Kart franchise. But has Nintendo ruined the game and squandered this amazing opportunity already? Nintendo recently dropped an update in regards to the track selection process when playing online, and it has sparked quite the controversy. And after further investigation and crunching some numbers, yeah, it's definitely a problem. A problem that I will be diving into deeper later in this video. I am an avid Mario Kart fan and have played every game in the franchise to date. And yes, that includes the ones that are older than I am. I'll be honest, I absolutely love Mario Kart World, but there are quite a few decisions that Nintendo made during the development of this game and in recent updates that I disagree with. So, you might ask, where does that leave us? Is Mario Kart World destined for greatness? Or destined to be forgotten? I would like to begin this deep dive by acknowledging the fact that this game just existing is life-changing for us Mario Kart enjoyers, which I know. The game spawning into existence is a very low bar to meet, but just hear me out, there is a point to be made here, I promise. I've been a die-hard Mario Kart fan since I could play video games. I mean, Mario Kart is so integral in my evolution to becoming a video game-loving human being. I mention it in like every video I make an appearance in, no matter what that video is about. My siblings and I started on Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy Advance to Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube, putting in uncountable amount of hours into Mario Kart DS, enjoying the endless craziness of couch split screen on Mario Kart Wii. We then cut to Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, and finally Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and the eventual Switch port of Mario Kart 8. The first 12 years of my life were jam-packed with different Mario Karts, and we never got tired of them. Until Mario Kart 7 and 8. Yes, in theory, Mario Kart 7 and 8 are very different games. But I mean, like, how different are they really? They both had kart customization, they both had gliders, they both had underwater maps. But wait, Mel, you say, hold on. In Mario Kart 8, the tracks and your tires sometimes were horizontal. Yeah, that was about it. Mario Kart 7 dropped in 2011, and it was a huge, exciting evolution from Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart 8 dropped in 2014 and was a general advancement from Mario Kart 7, and it was still exciting. But when you consider the fact that from when I was born until I was 10 years old, I got to play Super Circuit, Double Dash, the DS, and the Wii games, and that from when I was 11 until I was almost 25, I had Mario Kart 7 and 8 and just more 8 ports and expansions. I got the same game for like 14 years. That is over half of my life. I never played any other kart racer growing up other than Mario Kart, but I got to the point where I was so done with Mario Kart 8 existing that I actually tried other kart racers like Lego 2K Drive and Disney Speedstorm, and I did actually kind of fall in love with Disney Speedstorm, but that was like the one teeny tiny positive that came from the Mario Kart dry spell. So all that being said, the fact that Mario Kart World is a genuine evolution in the franchise that takes multiple creative steps forward, yeah, I'm over the moon that the game just exists and has freed me from my Mario Kart 8 purgatory. Listen, I absolutely adored my time with that game. But we've needed to move on for years at this point. On the other side of the coin, we need to address the aggressively large elephant in this room. The game's price tag. Mario Kart World was the one new Nintendo IP game that was available upon the Switch 2's release, and the game is $80. There are so many reasons why that price is unreasonable, and so many ways it will negatively impact gaming consumers as a whole, no matter what console you play on. Kids are also a huge demographic for these types of games, and that price tag, along with the cost of the Switch 2, is going to cut out so many families from being able to afford this game and future Nintendo games. My husband, Locked in Luke, and myself actually did a whole video about the current gaming economy and why this rise in gaming prices is not only ridiculous, but genuinely impactful on people's lives. And if you're interested, you can find the link to that video here or in the description down below if you want to hear our deeper dive into that topic. On a more positive note, one of the amazing parts about this game are, well, the racetracks. There are so many beautifully crafted tracks, both new and reused ones from previous games. Starview Peak has become one of my absolute favorites, along with tracks like Sky High Sunday, DK Spaceport, Great Block Ruins, Boo Cinema, Whistletop Summit, the list goes on. This game also has what I would say is easily the best Rainbow Road to date. I mean, this Rainbow Road is everything I've always wanted Rainbow Road to become. It of course has the more traditional Rainbow Road-esque sections of the track, but then you make your way to this gorgeous Mario Galaxy inspired section of the course with the most exquisite vibes. And then to this awesome, huge Mario themed satellite. The track is amazing, 11 out of 10. Okay, maybe like 9 out of 10. I have some notes, we'll get to that in a second. The Grand Prix in this game are also pretty fantastic, specifically in regards to the theming of each Grand Prix. I love that each Grand Prix in this game has its own distinct and unique vibe, instead of them feeling like a bunch of random races thrown together onto a generic playlist. I love so many of the tracks in this game, and for so many reasons. Some for the ambiance, some for the soundtrack, but the courses I have the most fun with are the ones that utilize the rail and wall mechanics to their fullest extent. When I first started playing this game, it took me quite a bit of time to figure out how to get on the rails and walls, and then how the heck I was supposed to stay on the rails and walls. Because for a Mario Kart game, it was not as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. But once I practiced and started getting the hang of it, these mechanics became one of my favorite parts about this game. The experience of jumping from rail to rail or rail to wall, finding shortcuts or secret paths in a track by seeing a rail you hadn't noticed before, and out of nowhere you're in a part of the track you didn't know even existed, doing crazy flips and tricks and hops all over the place back to back. This aspect of Mario Kart World is so satisfying, and yet I have a slight problem with it. The mechanic isn't used enough, and I mean really used enough. It makes the courses so dynamic and gives the players so much creative freedom with how they want to go through a race, and it just isn't utilized nearly as much as it should be. Starview Peak and Rainbow Road are amazing tracks with immaculate vibes, but would be 10 times better if they had sections of the track that actually utilize the rail and wall mechanics and use them in a way that felt creative and maybe actually impacted your placement in the game. I get these two tracks were essentially designed to be cinematic masterpieces, but I personally think you can still accomplish that goal without making the tracks themselves feel kind of straightforward and boring. A fantastic example of a track that utilizes these mechanics to the fullest extent is Dry Bones Burnout. I never expected this race to become a favorite track of mine, but the usage of the rail and wall mechanics on that course are done so insanely well and make racing through that course feel so dynamic and exciting that it has become one of my favorite tracks to play on in the entire game. So Nintendo, please give us more tracks that utilize these mechanics better. Thank you. As this is in fact a Mario Kart title, there are multiple ways you can enjoy this game with your friends, through local play, online play, and of course, split screen. The room or lobby system that is used when you are playing local or online multiplayer with your friends is pleasantly straightforward and easy to use, and I love that you and your friends can explore the world together in these lobbies. Although I'm not sure why the open world minigames and quick time events aren't available in these lobbies. You basically can only find coins, peach medallions, and stickers, I believe. So yeah, in my opinion, that kind of blows. When it comes to how you and your friends want to play, there is Knockout Tour, Versus Mode, Grand Prix, and Balloon and Coin Battles. Although there is one little caveat or asterisk in that statement, Grand Prix mode is only available in couch split screen. And I don't know about you guys, but that just feels wrong to me. I do personally really enjoy the split screen multiplayer in this game, because even though there is a lot going on with there being 24 racers and a lot of items being thrown all over the place, somehow I feel like I can more easily see what's going on than in previous games. Like there's more of the surrounding area on display for each player's screen, if that makes sense. I recently revisited Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8 in preparation for this video, and when I played split screen with my husband Luke, I feel like there were multiple moments where I genuinely could not tell where I was supposed to go next. Like the next part of the track was hidden at times due to the angle of the camera and the aspect ratio of each player's screen. Part of the multiplayer experience is choosing which of the courses you and your friends are going to play on. When playing split screen on the couch, as always, you decide as a group which track or Grand Prix you want to play, and one person selects it. When playing in a local or an online lobby with your friends or family, each player gets to select any of the 3-lap courses, or one of the multitudes of courses where you drive through the open world from one track to another, and there are 202 of those courses if I counted correctly. When playing online with randoms though, this is now where we need to address the recent controversial update. Allow me to start out by saying this. We can all agree that Nintendo makes games and has a specific way they want their players to enjoy those games, correct? I mean, just look at Smash Ultimate for example. They have made it harder and harder for that game to be enjoyed by the people who want to play it competitively, especially on a professional level, and that is a topic that could literally be covered in an entire whole video. Now, those competitive players only represent a small fraction of the entire player base for that game, but I believe that players should have the freedom and the options to enjoy a game in a way that is the most beneficial to their overall experience. Which all of that ties in and brings me to the problem itself. Before the update happened, and when you played online with random people, you and in theory 23 other racers all select the next track you want to race on. And the game goes through and randomly selects one of those tracks. And instead of being able to select any track in the game, you are prompted to select between 3 course options, all involving the track-to-track format in the game, which only allows you to drive 1 lap around the destination course. So before the update, most people would select the random course option, which would randomly select one of the tracks in the game that consisted of 3 laps around that course. 1 track, 3 laps. The Mario Kart formula we are all used to and have come to love. For whatever reason, Nintendo has updated the game so that now when you select the random option, this option can now give you one of the track-to-track options that are prompted for you to choose, which we will now call intermission tracks or courses going forward. So, why is this a problem? Well, because now it seems like it is almost impossible to play online and have the ability to play a classic 3-lap course. Listen, I can neither confirm or deny whether or not Nintendo has made the random option probability weighted more towards the intermission tracks, but from what I can tell from my own personal experience and the experience of other players, it kind of looked like it might be. Allow me to break this down. The random option appears to have those 3 optional intermission tracks and 26 normal courses in the bucket of race options it chooses from, if you exclude the 3-lap versions of the courses that are currently options for intermission tracks and the course you just played on. It is time to put my engineering degree to some good use and do some basic math. If you weighed all of the courses in that random bucket option the same, and when playing online the random option is selected, you should, in theory, have an 89.6% chance at getting one of the 3-lap traditional courses, and have a 10.4% chance of getting one of the optional 3 intermission tracks. But that is clearly not the case. Considering that almost every time myself and other players get random selected, it almost always chooses one of those intermission tracks. So from a probability standpoint, yeah, the random option is heavily weighted towards choosing the intermission tracks. This math ain't mathin', and math doesn't lie. I would like to mention that in my recent online play sessions, it does appear that very infrequently, you instead get 2 intermission course options and the option to select one specific 3-lap course. But that alternative option barely ever showed up for me. I get it, this is Mario Kart World. Nintendo wants their players to spend time in the open world, but I shouldn't be forced to spend time in the open world if I don't want to. Before the update, a majority of the people online would select the random option to just get a normal 3-lap course. And from what I've gathered in my post-update online sessions, only about 2 or 4 of the 24 players would select random, because it's barely worth selecting anymore. Listen, there are some intermission tracks in this game that are a lot of fun, but the majority of them are pretty lackluster. And when you get to your destination track, you only get to enjoy the ambiance of that area for 1 lap. I'd love to say that Nintendo will see some of the drop-off of the online versus play and revert it to how it was, or just update it to make it less weighted towards the intermission track options, but this is Nintendo. They want their games to be played a certain way, and they have no problem enforcing that on their players. It is, unfortunately, a tale as old as time. Hold on a second. Editor Mel the Man is taking over the YouTube video. Hey there, I'm Crunch Time editor Mel the Man. I didn't expect to see you here like this, nor you I, but I figured I should probably give the previous section of my video a little bit of updated context. I recorded this video in July, and at the time of releasing this video, it is now mid-August. And stop your typing, I can hear what you're saying in the comments section. Oh my god, you've been working on this video for like a month? I know, I'm trying to be better, I'm sorry. I feel the need to bring this up because I just know that there will probably be some people who race to the comment section before getting to this part of the video where I start to explain myself and say, oh well, did you know that Nintendo actually already released the update for it? I can't believe you posted this video without actually doing your research and knowing that Nintendo did an update where they fixed this problem. I know they did. All of this footage is from July. I'm sorry. I made the executive decision though to keep this section inside the video though, because it was still something that happened and something that really sucked, especially when the game wasn't that old. And I have been playing the game since this update was supposed to fix the problem that I just talked about, and I can't really say for certain whether or not it actually did fix the issues that I previously mentioned, but I will say while playing online, I recently have been getting more consistently 3 map options where 2 of them are the intermission tracks, and 1 of them is the random 3-lap course that's somewhere in the map. So that is nice. What I cannot say for certain though is whether the random option button, when it is selected, how often it does or does not select an intermission course or one of the classic 3 laps around a course kind of race. I've been trying to gather some test data since this new update happened, but I never got my option ever selected. It's like the selector is allergic to the random option on online player. I mean, like me and like 3 or 4 other people would consistently select random, and every single time it was like, oh, this is random? Nah, I'm gonna select frickin' Dry Bones Burnout or whatever. And because in my playtime recently, I haven't ever seen the random option actually get selected, I can't say whether or not the update fixed the random option map selection problem. So, that being said, although the previous section of my video is a little late to the game and might not be as relevant anymore as it was about a month ago, I still think it was a conversation worth having because it was such a problem and might still be kind of a problem, and it still affected mine and other people's experience playing Mario Kart World within the first few months of it being released. But anyways, that's all from Scruffy Needs to Take a Shower editor Mel. Take it away, much well put together, has her makeup on and her hair done, Mel. I'll keep this section short and sweet. The costume set is so diverse and fun, and I love that I can play the little random Nintendo NPCs like the Goomba, this cute little bee guy, everyone's favorite little penguin from Mario 64, and of course the trademark NPC in this game, the Moo Moo Meadows cow. And listen, I get it, some people don't enjoy these random little characters, but let me just say I think they are a massive upgrade from the 5 billion Lemmy, Larrys, and Jerrys they pulled from Mario 3D Land into Mario Kart 8. I hate these guys. I do really wish that Donkey Kong and Pauline had more than 2 costume options upon release, but I think we can safely assume they're going to get a lot more costumes, considering that Donkey Kong Bonanza has a built-in wardrobe mechanic in the game. I also really love the car options in this game and feel like they pair very well with a lot of the costumes and characters on the roster. But I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the card options currently. I still don't know how I feel about no longer having kart customization. I rocked this motorcycle build in Mario Kart 8, and have generally built up a love for the motorcycle body options in Mario Kart. But because of the characters I love to play in Mario Kart World, none of the motorcycle options really work well with those characters. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that if I want my character to have decent stats, I'm kind of pigeonholed into a select few card options that I may or may not like the body style of. But in games like Mario Kart 7 and 8, you had the opportunity to possibly play with a body style you liked by altering the tires and the glider to make the stats better for the character that you wanted to play. But at the end of the day, the cart options are still really fun, and I love that they put in karts from previous Mario Kart titles like the B-Dasher from Mario Kart DS. We've discussed a whole lot of Mario Kart up to this point. Now, it's time to talk about the world. Plain and simple, I thoroughly enjoy the look and the ambiance of the open world in this game. You can collect Peach medallions, coins, stickers, do fun quick time challenges by hitting the P switches, and there are a few fun surprise moments, like driving this gigantic semi-truck and crashing into everything you see, or whirling around in a UFO or a helicopter. Each zone in this world has a distinct vibe that is either exciting or relaxing to just exist in, and the way some of these areas light up and change when night falls is breathtaking. Listen, it takes a lot for me to pay attention to something, especially when it's a slower paced part of a game. But this open world has genuinely grabbed my full attention, and recently my favorite part of my day that I look forward to is laying in bed at night and just driving around, trying different shortcuts on repeat using the rewind mechanic, exploring different map locations with my husband, and just taking a second to unwind in this universe. Now, I do wish there were more things to do in the open world, and more gameplay-heavy quick-time events to take part in. It would be so awesome if there were more sporadic mini-games and challenges, like maybe Metal Mario comes out of nowhere and challenges you to a race, or fun ways to unlock new skins that weren't just through the food items, or secret explorable areas that you have to find to unlock. I really feel like this has so much more potential and they could do so much more with this open world. But for what it is right now, I still love it wholeheartedly. As I mentioned before, when it comes to vibes, this game has the vibiest of them. Of course, the coloring and the ambiance plays a massive role in that warm, fuzzy feeling you get inside when playing this game. But above everything else in this video, arguably my favorite, no, definitely my favorite part of this game is the vast, glittering treasure trove that is the soundtrack of Mario Kart World. There are some Mario Kart tracks of old that have stayed with us and stand out because they are very quality, or mostly because they're funny. But in general, I wouldn't say any of the previous Mario Kart soundtracks stand out to me as a whole, and felt like they were just kind of generic, especially in comparison to games like Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey, and Mario 3D Land. But the music in this game is a diverse set of composition masterpieces, each tying together the feel of every world zone, track, and the roads between tracks. Whether it's upbeat, intense, or cinematically calming and beautiful, each song makes you feel exactly how you want to feel in this game, wherever you are. Some of these masterpieces are new, and some of my favorites are the reimaginings of old Mario Kart songs. But wait, there's more! There are even beautifully reimagined versions of songs from other Mario games, even from some of my favorite games like Mario 64, and Super Mario Bros. 3. I could yap for hours about how amazing this soundtrack is, but how about instead me and you just sit back, relax, and enjoy some good vibes together? Shall we? Mario Kart World has reawakened the wonder and joy that I felt when playing these games as a kid. Obviously, now I'm an adult, and can see where this game falters, some of the choices Nintendo has made that are questionable, and can see all the ways that this game can be improved. I want 12 or 16 player options in Grand Prix and Versus modes. I want the maps for Balloon Battle to feel more tailored to that game mode like they were in Mario Kart DS. I'm praying on my hands and knees that they expand the open world by adding more world zones and racetracks that involve Nintendo crossovers like Pikmin, Animal Crossing, Kirby, Zelda. But all that being said, this game just makes me happy. Mario Kart World is so new and so different from the rest of the Mario Kart titles up to this point. And I can basically guarantee you it will get more updates, it will get more expansions. It's not like they're gonna make another Mario Kart for the Switch 2. And after the success of the Mario Kart 8 expansions, we can safely assume that Nintendo is going to do something at least similar with this game. What I'm trying to say is this game just came out. It has so much time to grow, and although it definitely has its flaws, the tell of a great game is when you still love it despite its rough edges. I'll be streaming this game periodically on my Twitch channel, Mel the Man, and have just started a Mel the Man After Hours YouTube channel for all of my stream VODs and highlights, for those of you where streams aren't really your jam. I'm also currently streaming my very first Elden Ring playthrough, which is a very different game. So come to my stream and say hi if you're interested in talking with me about the Nintendo IPs or Souls games. I would be honored if you left a like on this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy our little discussions. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the racetrack.